Opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone. And I think my mic is set too loud. Anyway, it's great to see everybody. Happy New Year and all that bullshit. Original broadcast date is January 5th, 2024. And yes, this is the kickoff of Scarefest 16, right? Yeah. Who counts anymore? Scarefest 2024. Anyway, so this is the first official episode of the new year. We do have a celebrity announcement at the bottom of the hour. And tonight, I'll go ahead and show everybody. We got John Edwards on. We were supposed to have John and Stacey, but he poisoned her.
Yeah,
that's
bound to happen.
So anyway, let's see. I got everybody. Tonight is a special occasion. We have our first live Instagram feed going for the show. I figured out how to get it done, and it's a little bit of a pain in the ass because Instagram doesn't make anything easy as far as an old fart like me is concerned, but we do have it. Bonehead will be in later tonight. Yeah, photo op schedule my ass. Anyway, the Bonehead Weekly will be in tonight to do a review of The Nun Part 2, which I didn't even know there was one. And, and I've spent the week, Facebook has decided to deliver puppy videos to me, John. On the little Reels thing, it's all puppy videos now. And I understand why women get that little thing in their head where they want another baby.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've been watching puppy videos. And between that and binge watching Sheldon, that's where we're here. Everybody, tonight, this is a annual thing we do. John, and usually his lovely wife, Stacey, come on. And we do a news program talking about what all has been in the news for the past year. We have a lot of fun doing it. They are the masters of it. I bow to their wizardry when it comes to their timing and choice of topics. But before we get there, John, we've already kind of teased it to each other. We have to discuss the elephant in the room.
Yeah. Aliens in Miami.
8-foot fucking aliens in a shopping mall, people. Not just walking down the street. Not cavorting on the beach. Actual aliens, apparently just like at Trader Joe's or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not talking about they didn't come here on a door. You know, it's the actual aliens, as you would put it, and the reports are crazy. Initially, it was a lot of Twitter, X, a lot of X coming out saying, you know, there was some 8-foot, as you said, gray alien type, traditional X-Files looking aliens around a mall. It caused all kinds of panic and chaos, and they were trying to say later that it was a cover-up with it was a bunch of teenagers having a fight. And you know, as I look today, because the stories I was seeing initially were somewhat vanishing, as I would find one, I would see a post deleted, you know, if on Reddit. But today there's somebody coming out saying they made it all up, that they'd never even been to Miami.
The aliens haven't been to Miami? Or no, the witness. The eyewitness. Yeah.
Here, the crazy thing is there's no CCTV one way or another.
The only video of this is apparently people with their flip phones I have not seen a good video of anything, even the cop cars. Okay, here, I'll give them what I know. There is a video, and now this part's real, 100%, because it's from enough angles. Roughly this shopping mall, there are between 50 and 100. I've heard both counts, 50 and 100 police cars in the street along the shopping mall.
Yep.
The official story is some kids got in a fight and somebody threw firecrackers. Everybody thought it was a gun. And so apparently they thought the best way to handle this was to not SWAT, not anybody actually equipped to handle a live shooter situation, just to have every freaking cop in Miami show up on the sidewalk. Now,
right.
That's pretty much what I got of it. But then, and I don't know when the stories about the 8-foot creatures actually started filtering out. I haven't been able to pin that down.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, it all happened relatively same time period. And I've seen people get on saying, you know, let's see, I've got this one here. Hey, don't believe anything you're reading. The power went out. Our phones, my phone wasn't able to work. I've had some of that I've seen where people were saying that they tried taking a video, but their phones wouldn't work and there was a power outage, and that's why there's no CCTV. I just think it's weird in 2024 now to have anything where you don't have CCTV. You know, normally.
Yeah, even bad CCTV.
Yeah. Somebody's Tesla should have picked it up. I mean, it's weird.
Now, anybody in the chat, if y'all want to ask us if you haven't heard of this, but the main thing about it is, okay, let's just roll it back. Let's take the aliens out of it. That big of a police response that is obviously, it's there. That should have made the news.
Yeah.
Now, I get it, maybe not Fox 56, but I think 27 should have picked it up.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, absolutely. I mean, for that many cops to show up for any kind of emergency, it's, always a big event. So active, shooter or something. But I don't know, man. It's weird. What kind of goes, though, with some of the things I've got from one of my top stories of 2023, segue. But, for me, the top story of 2023 isn't going to be the one people think it is, because I know as I've been speaking to friends and whatnot, they're all like, well, of course, the UAPs and everything that happened with Congress. And we finally had, some type of disclosure, which they closed the door back on. But, there was some, they at least peeked it open and let us take a look. And, we had one of the most credible, no, not one of, we actually absolutely had the most credible whistleblower of all time with David Grush.
Mm-hmm. I was listening. The only reason I even know that name is I was listening. I think you all covered that in June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did a little homework. I went back and listened to your podcast, like 2 or 3 episodes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a big one. And, it's, that's not my top story though. My top story is from the Amazon, and it's from Peru.
Okay.
The Peruvian Amazon, if you will. But it's a real crazy story. I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to get any of it wrong, because it's one of the stories that started out with us hearing a lot of social media buzz. Anybody who's on, Reddit or on any of the strange forums, you start seeing the stories popping up. You start seeing it all over Twitter. And what I'm talking about is the Peruvian, there was flying aliens, right? There was flying humanoids that were attacking villagers in Peru. And at first I laughed. I mean, it was just one of those stories where you're thinking, come on, we see a lot of those stories out there. Like somebody's cow, freaking grew a cape and flew off to the moon, whatever. It was so crazy that it was almost too much for me, but it kept popping up, and it was about these Peruvian, this village on the Amazon. And the more I looked into it, I find out that they're like, yeah, we're getting attacked. There was videos popping up. and grainy, owned by a villager in a Peruvian rainforest, phone footage of a little girl, 15 years old, that had been attacked. They tried to abduct her, they being the aliens, and the villagers got her back. Now the story gets a lot better. I'm giving you, this is how weird it was at first. There was just little bullet points at first and grainy video. Yeah.
It gets better. Okay. Let's go there.
It gets much better. It gets much better. So with these reports, the villagers requested help from the military. They said, look, we're out here. This particular village is 2 hours away from any kind of road. You have to take a boat. You have to take a boat up the Amazon, and it's the northernmost part of the Amazon before you get to virgin forest. And there's no other villages past this village. So that's the only way to get there is by helicopter or by taking a boat. And in this village, they still, it's not like they are clicking their tongues to talk or anything. They still watch Iron Man and everything else, but it is a village living in a very village way.
Probably better internet than we do.
Well, yeah, the weird thing is they do have internet. So, what happened is they would see these things, and it was like little flying disc that would fly over the village and scare everybody. Obviously, metallic, small, maybe 5 foot wide disc that would fly over the village. And as it would lower, they would notice there was very tall humanoid beings somewhat surfing on top of these discs. And they would go and land somewhere else outside of the village. As soon as it turned dark, these beings would come into the village and attack the villagers. They would try to get into their houses. They would actually try to grab people, and they were described as being 9 foot tall. They were described as wearing an armor, a black metallic type armor on most of them. That these villagers, most of the men had shotguns, 16 gauge. They were shooting birdseed. They were shooting pellets, whatever. And
okay, but from close range, a 16 gauge will do damage.
5 feet. They were saying they were 5 feet away.
Okay,
shooting right to the chest, and it did knock one down. He popped right back up and flew away. Even when they weren't on the disc, this is one of the crazy parts. They said they would float in and to the village, and their boots, if you will, had 2 metallic discs on the boots, one in the front, one in the back. And the theory is it probably hooks into the hoverboard that they're on. But when they came in, there's one girl, Talia or Tania, they grabbed her, and she was out one day picking something in the back garden. She was by herself, and that's when her memory is the fact that everything was, she heard rustling, and then something put their hand over her mouth, and then the other guy came, or the other being came, grabbed her legs, and before she knew it, they had made an incision on her neck underneath her face. One of the beings took a powder, made a salve, put it over her face, and it started making her skin swell. And what they're thinking, what she said, was they wanted to take her face because this had happened in another village, and all this stuff is
wait. For like a trophy, or let's just slap a human face on the 10-foot fucking alien and see if it passes.
Well, they have a legend of face eaters.
Oh.
And it goes back to the 80s. It doesn't go back for thousands of years. These attacks happened for decades, but it's not been publicized or anything until this year. This happened in late July, and it went on for a while. And here's the crazy thing, okay?
Oh, we haven't got to the crazy thing yet. Okay.
We actually have not.
Okay.
So during this time, one of the people watching this was an investigator in the States named Timothy Alberino. And Timothy, well, he spent some time as a teenager near that village, actually has some land down there and could speak the dialect. So he wanted to get down there to find out about this. Well, he got a team together with some ex-Navy guys and pretty much like the crack team when you take a look at these people. And he actually got some gear, some night vision stuff. He chartered a boat. He got with some ministries to buy these villagers some night vision goggles. It's out of Tennessee, and they went down there. So this is all chronicled on YouTube. People can watch the video by going to the Timothy Alberino YouTube, and it's just like it's spelled. I mean, that's his YouTube is Timothy Alberino, Alberino. And on there, he has like an hour-and-a-half video chronicling the entire trip, telling about all of this, showing the video, doing the investigation, actually talking to the village chief. And these people, they talked to the girl. They talked to the 15-year-old girl who wouldn't talk to him at first. Obviously, she's traumatized. They were able to get her back before she was taken all the way away. And like I said, they've shot these things. This is not one of those stories where it's like, well, it was in my room and I smelled ether and, whatever. This is, no, we saw the SOB and we shot it. It fell on its ass and then it flew away. So this is the part that really creeps me out. They, the description of these things.
Okay.
Yeah. So the description of these things is, and I'll tell you the official report too, of what they're saying, what the official report from the police is. But see, there's the nighttime people in panic. The actual description: 8 to 9 feet tall humanoids surfing in on circular silent hoverboards would fly over the village and then land. They would then float into the village using some technology on their feet. 2 discs on bottom of each foot, said to be huge. They can levitate or even jump over a house, as one woman put it. Their boards can then go a high rate of speed and zoom off. They wear armor that can withstand close range shotgun blast. The villager who shot one at close range with 16 gauge shotgun blast knocked the alien back and it shot right off into the air. They come in at night and see 15-year-old Talia was describing them as well. Elongated helmets. They wear the black armor, bodysuit, elongated helmets. And so everything about them is covered up. Yellow almond-shaped eyes, goggles. And the people are saying goggles, but it's yellow almond-shaped. And these things are standing 9 feet tall. So the Navy didn't go like they requested, but 2 cops went. They went 2 hours from the nearest city, and they talked to everyone. They had Navy backing them up, but it was the cops doing it, and the cops said, well, and the official report that everybody ran with this. Every national publication that was covering the story, it's river miners, and they're funded by drug cartels, and they're using jetpacks to try to kind of Scooby-Doo scare off the villagers so they can mine the river. Now, this river, again, this part of the Amazon is hours away from everything. If you were having to jetpack in, what are you going to mine? That you would have to jetpack back out, that you would have to, it's ridiculous. And everybody who knows about the area says that's one of the dumbest cover stories of all time because it makes no sense.
And I don't think jetpack technology is widely used yet.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't have it down pat to a science where you could even, I don't think you could abduct someone on jetpacks we currently have and fly away with them.
Well, even if you could, how much fuel can you carry?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, that's from here to the sidewalk maybe, but
so the thing I like the most about this story is when you hear alien stories, a lot of times it's very ethereal, it's very mysticism, right? These guys have technology. And they even talk about a pack that's on their back, like a small pack. One would think like a propulsion system.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about what they're wearing makes sense. They didn't just make her fall asleep. They took powder and some wet substance and made a salve and put that on her first. And then they made another one to put on her face to make her face ready. And it's very interesting. I really invite everybody to go find the videos on this. It's amazing, honestly.
Well, that's just fucking crazy. See, whenever I hear a story like this, though, now I don't want to say it's the skeptic in me, because okay, if you got an entire village of people saying something happened,
yeah,
then it's hard for me to say something didn't happen. But what I try to get into the mindset, and that's why I don't go to church much, is I'm trying to figure, what is the end game? If you're just wanting the face, it's, you're not going to eat it. I wouldn't think.
So I thought about that too. There was two parts to this story. There was another village that is hours away. It's close as far as villages go, but it's a couple hours away, and it also got attacked. And there's video that came out of there around the same time over the summer where they had a gray alien looking type thing up in a tree and a bunch of villagers standing around the tree yelling, and, that kind of video. But they had the same attacks. They had the same description, the almond eyes, the 9 feet tall, all that stuff. And there was also a boy that got abducted from that village that didn't end up so well. And it was the same age. I believe both him and the girl were 15. That got me thinking, because I think like you do, why would they do this? Well, let's just theorize that they came in the 80s, like they're saying that this happened in the 80s, this happened in the 90s. What if they've been coming with this out of the way tribe and doing things, doing some abductions and maybe changing around and trying to create some hybrids and seeing how that's coming along? So they're taking this specific age and maybe checking, by getting skin or getting face or whatever.
I just think there's easier ways to do it.
Yeah, you would think they could just, get them to pee in a jar.
Yeah,
but,
just, here, here's a Q-tip.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I mean, there's so much of it that doesn't make sense. But regardless, here's the thing. Like you said, something did happen. It's not just one village. It's several villages. And everybody's really messed up in these villages. They didn't gain anything from this. If anything, they got ridiculed by anybody who read the story. So I think of two ways, right? Either it is something crazy and otherworldly, and if that happened, that's amazing. Or it's truly someone going through the trouble of having this technology that we don't even know about yet, and using technology like that for whatever reasons. What is there that they want to get to? If it is humans, which it could be, and we're using technology they haven't told us about yet, what are they trying to get to? It's interesting either way.
Oh, definitely. But I had not. Okay, that one. By the way, give them the what to search for on YouTube again. People in the chat room are wanting to look this up.
Yeah, absolutely. There's two things. I suggest going to the End Time Productions YouTube channel. They have a great video on it. It won't be hard to find which one it is. It's the one that talks about flying aliens. But also go to, his name is Timothy Alberino, Alberino, Timothy Alberino. And he's got all the videos on his channel, or that End Times Productions have a great video on it.
Okay. Well, now that you've creeped me out, we're going to go ahead and do our bottom of the hour commercial breaks. We've got 2 commercials for you, and then we'll do our announcements. So everybody stick around.
Horror. Movie. 4. Life. On Facebook. Find us. 4 watch parties. 4 news. 4 memes. 4 friends. 4 life. Horror movie fans for life. Join us.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Roomorg magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Roomorg, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
Okay, everybody. We're going to do this a few minutes early. Somebody will be pissed off. I did that once before, and somebody came in. Well, I came in, and y'all have already done it. Anyway, we're going to do this celebrity announcement now. We're going to do all of our announcements. Here is tonight's celebrity announcement. Adam Green, a filmmaker known for his work in the horror genre. He gained recognition for his debut film, Hatchet, and its sequels, as well as for the critically acclaimed Frozen. Green has also directed music videos for various artists and hosts a popular podcast. He is a very prominent figure in the horror film industry. Now, this was okay. That was my little bio that I got by telling. I'm actually using AI now. I am using AI now. I stuck it. There was like a 3-page report on him on IMDb, and I said, "Hey, make that 60 words." That's what I got. That's how you use Skynet, people, right there. Okay. The speaker applications are open. Go to scarefestweekend.com and there will be a link to take you to the speaker application. If you would like to speak at Scarefest, those applications are online. The Scarefest Film Festival is taking submissions, and I looked today and we've already got like 7 submissions. So I'm already in the hole. I'm already behind on getting stuff judged. But the if you know an independent filmmaker, if you know somebody that does films, short films, feature films, doesn't matter. But if it's a horror or paranormal or thriller genres, maybe a little sci-fi even, Scarefest Horror Film Festival is online. Go to the website. Look for the film festival link. Now, this one is a trick. The link is up on the website to volunteer to be Scarefest staff, but it's not active till February 1st. So, but I'd already loaded the graphic, and I wanted to go ahead and explain that to everybody. Yes, for some reason, they decided a dead link on the website was the best course of action. But anyway, so we'll be taking them very, very soon. It'll be here before you know it. But the link is not live. You go there, you click it. It'll tell you come back February 1st. Now, I and Joanna Hochstetter will be appearing at Vet CityCon, Bowling Green, Kentucky, first weekend of March. Saturday and Sunday, 2nd and 3rd, if I remember correctly. But anyway, Vet CityCon. They got Hannah Fearman. They got Paul Taylor, a couple of wrestlers that I've never heard of. But anyway, check them out. Look them up on Facebook or go to offbeathorror.com. It's a little link tree thing. You can find out all about the con. Great little con. We have stepped in, Scarefest Weekend has stepped in to help them out and keep them on their feet and so they can thrive and grow. Vet CityCon in March. And everybody, now this is a personal favor to me. Personal favor. I want you, if you're on TikTok, now if you don't use TikTok, ignore me. But if you use TikTok, go to find the official Scarefest account. There it is right there, at the official Scarefest. follow us. We need 50 more followers. I'm going to try to stream Scarefest TV to that account. So, and by the way, yeah, we've been told that the Instagram account is not working. I'll try to do it differently next week, but the dashboard says it's working, so I don't know why. And that is on the Scarefest Instagram, not my personal or Scarefest Radio. It is the official Scarefest. But regardless, that's one I need you to follow on TikTok. If you find me, don't follow me. I don't post crap. We're putting all of our energy into that account right now. Once we get that built up over 1,000 followers, then we might do something else. And the Central KY Mystical Market, Central Kentucky Mystical Market, Lexington's premier monthly psychic and holistic event. Lexington, Kentucky, 1950 Newtown Pike at the Clarion Hotel, 20th and 21st of January. Excuse me. Right around the corner. Mystical Market, Central Kentucky Mystical Market. Readers and crafts and all kinds of great souvenirs. Check it out on online. You can go to look up on Facebook, Central Kentucky Mystical Market, or go to centralkymysticalmarket.com. Also, it's linked on Scarefest Weekend. Okay, my Patreon project. I am up to about 37, 38. That says 39, but I lost a couple, so I'm a little short. Anyway, until I get to 50, I am not doing that cosplay. I will do the cosplay, but I won't cut up my good Camp Arawak shirt, my sleepaway camp shirt. I'm not going bare midriff until I get 50 followers. Patreon.com/ScarefestRadio. And I'm going to plug this through the end of the month. The link is on ScarefestRadio.com. My co-host, Joanna Hochstetter, is in a hook, line, and chill calendar. She's Miss January. I actually know a Miss January. There she is with her prize catfish, Tom, that she caught. She named it. Anyway, if you, what? I'm back there. Hey. Anyway, go through the little slideshow on the front of ScarefestRadio.com, or just ask Joanna. I'm sure she would love to share the link so she can, but anyway, I'm only going to do this because I don't care about it. Oh, actually, Jessa Flux is also in the calendar, if I remember correctly. And I kind of like her too. But anyway, right there, hook, line, and chill calendar. All right, back to the show. So far, John Edwards, host of the widely popular weird paranormal sideshow. And did you all drop the Today's Strange thing?
Yeah, today was too strange.
Well,
yeah, no, we're just doing a paranormal sideshow because daily video was. I had to check my nose for boogers too often.
Well, doing anything daily. I can't even do Facebook post every day. No, doing actually getting in the mood to be creative and no.
You can't have a real job.
Yeah,
and I put like 80 actual hours in a week, so you can't do that and do a daily show.
Yeah, I knew when you all teased that. I said, boy, that's a tough row to hoe, as we say here in Kentucky.
Hey, buddy, I did it for quite a while, and then that was it. I made it through Scarefest, and I was like, nope.
Okay. So far, John has just scared the absolute pants off of me. So far, we've had aliens that are ripping off faces in the Peruvian jungle.
Oh yeah.
And that's just, I like things a little more lighthearted. Just saying.
Well,
before we go back to aliens,
give
me something that has nothing to do with aliens.
Okay, so one of my favorite stories of the year. It's a short one, you know. I like the short ones. Thank God that my wife does too. But trail cameras filmed 2 scantily clad witches eating a deer carcass. Remember that one?
Actually, I think I saw a still from the video. I didn't, or because it was like a 5-second video, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a 5-second video. Unless you slowed it down and watched it in reverse. But so Karina Stanhope discovered a deer carcass on her property in British Columbia. She decided to set up a trail camera so that she could see which animals would turn up to feed on it. When she later reviewed the footage, however, she was stunned to see a half-naked woman and a half-naked man feasting on the dead deer as though part of some kind of occult ritual. Quote,
Yeah, I'm bringing this up next week. We've got the Granny Witches coming on. I believe it is next week. Yeah.
So quote, me and my grandpa put up the trail camera to see if we could see animals. I came the next day. I bet you did. And grandpa said he got naked on the camera. And I said, no, you didn't. So he showed me. I don't know what the heck was up with that. She said it really freaked us out.
What?
Now I gotta say something. When I just read that, it sounded like her grandpa got naked on the camera, but I think what he was saying was he found some people naked on the camera. Huh. Yeah, it wasn't West Virginia weird.
It was, but I see an OnlyFans opportunity second to none.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, gosh dang.
Absolutely. I've already thought of mine.
The Duck Dynasty crowd would subscribe.
I'm going to start thickersnicker.com. So, we've got another one for you. Did you see the Grim Reaper at King Charles' coronation?
No, I must have missed that. Oh, I know why, because I didn't watch the fucking coronation. But continue.
Oh, I figured you'd have been a big fan. Like, have a little crown on.
Oddly enough, don't get into the whole royalty thing.
I would have never guessed that. Yeah. So it's a Grim Reaper or a very late monk. Somebody was like needing to be somewhere else. But during the historic crowning of King Charles III on May 6th, some spotted someone skulking in the background during one particular shot of the interior of the Westminster Abbey. Now, it is a creepy footage. It really is, I have to admit. The figure who could be seen hurrying across the doorway from right to left was wearing what looked like all black garments and was carrying something reminiscent of a scythe. And before long, Grim Reaper at Westminster Abbey was trending on social media. Now, I remember this because I thought it was funny that it was trending higher than the actual coronation.
Well, you got to admit, as far as something that'll fit in a tweet, in other words, it's easier hashtag.
Yeah, and people like it better. I mean, it's it did look creepy. I kept waiting for somebody to come out and say, oh, well, one of the choir boys that just got diddled, he was trying to run back to the, get
with
back
his
where he
trusty scythe.
Yeah, with his scythe, yeah. But nothing ever came out. And, it's a pretty big event. You would imagine they would try to bury that really quickly. It's like, come on, we got to tell them what it was. So they quit talking about that. They need to talk about me. But that never happened. It's still a mystery. So I thought that was interesting.
Definitely interesting. I'm going to take us full circle here. Everybody, if you tuned in late, you didn't get to catch the opening sequence of the show. We were talking about the aliens of Miami. Now, a big theory on this, though, is not so much aliens as transdimensional beings. Because even in the video, and I did see the enhanced, zoomed in close-up of the thing there. Now, seeing the original video and seeing what they were able to pull out of it, that actually made me even more skeptical of the actual capture because,
right,
you're making vodka out of gravel. But if any of the descriptions or even what I saw in the video, they're not, in other words, we could be talking about very similar things here. In other words, the Grim Reaper is not. So, are we in the end days? I guess that's the moral of the story.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and all these stories are probably related in their own way, but you got to think, whether that alien was in Miami or not, this past year, we had people come out and try their damnedest to tell us what, to explain things away from whistleblowers who they couldn't discredit because, well, as I said before, David Grush is one of the most honorable, people has ever come forward on anything. You can't find anything on this guy, really. And he's accredited and he went to proper channels. No one's ever went to proper channels to disclose something. So I respect this guy. I respect the fact of what he put out there. And, the very fact that it made people take a step back and listen, there's obvious off-world things, wherever they want to call them, transdimensional, whatever. And they kind of put the hints out there that it's maybe not from another world, but maybe from, as you said, another dimension, or they keep dropping that.
Well, and I get why they do that. First of all, everybody, now I take that the whole disclosure thing really seriously, because when the Navy and Air Force come on TV and go, yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
crazy.
But, okay, let's get all theoretical here. This is really, because I don't know, something else was being, time, they were, it was something I read about time travel. Okay? Now, they talk, time travel is not possible because of blah, blah, blah. But if you get into, I guess it would be quantum physics, where basically the theory is everything is happening now. Past is happening this moment. Future's happening. So basically, if water was time, that's everything right there.
Right.
Now, in other words, you don't have to go faster than the speed of light. You don't have to. You just, there. I just went back in time 200 years by shaking that bottle.
Yeah.
Now, when you get into transdimensional beings, that's it's actually becoming a generic term because if you don't know what the dimensions are,
yeah,
right. So yeah,
well,
so I'm on board with the term because we can't define it anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, they had the Vatican time machine thing, right? That the chronovisor. Remember hearing about that?
No, I believe I missed it. Now that actually, I'll say it, but I think that's something that might have been triggered my whole thing on the time travel.
Yeah, well, a few years back,
I remember that name.
They had something called the chronovisor and the Vatican time machine. So some people supposedly had actually used this for years, and they could look through this and actually see. Just imagine an ancient form of an iPad or something. Yeah. But they could look at this and see things. So they apparently went back and could watch the crucifixion. They could watch ancient Rome. They could watch the whistleblower or whatever said he got to see Abraham Lincoln give the Gettysburg Address, just from afar. And, whether somebody believes that or not, it's weird that they would even have that story, that somebody that had been in the church would even come up with that. 2010, the Pope's actual exorcist or whatever comes out and says that the devil is at the Vatican. That was one that I'll never forget. And just as far as, and we're talking the Vatican, we're talking the Catholic Church's headquarters, all this weird stuff coming out of the same place. It's always been weird to me how connected. You were talking about things being connected. Stories like that kind of makes you think, it's weird out there. And I think that 24 is going to be an incredible year because of the things that's already come out. And there's some people ready to go on record to really screw up because they're pissed off that, the things that got taken out of the budget would have been some of the stuff that would have helped with the disclosure. And it got taken out at the last moment. So I think that 2024 is going to just be some more amazing, mind-blowing things. Kind of like, is it time for a commercial?
Yeah, we got a commercial. And then, so let's do a commercial. Let's do our Bonehead Weekly. We'll come back and we'll get to whatever else it is you got. Okay. Now this is a quickie commercial because I never actually recorded it. It's Spirit Mechanics. My longtime sponsor, Spirit Mechanics, has a brick and mortar store. If you have not heard already, because I talk about it every week. 1018 East New Circle Road, Spirit Mechanics. Visit them online, spiritmechanics.com. They now operate the Missing Element Shop, a one-stop shop for spirit mechanics, Stevens Healing Vibrations, and they feature metaphysical supplies, books, divination, altar supplies, tarot and oracle decks, handmade glassware, and spirit boards. And the vibrational sound healing from Stephen Tyree is really something you should try. If you have a chronic pain, if you have a bad back, bad knee, bad hip. I went in, it was my hip that was bothering me when I went in. Give it a try. It's harmonic healing. I think that's the simplest way to put it, but it really does. And these are a great bunch of guys. And honestly, something we don't even point out too much, if you actually have a paranormal problem, if you think your house haunted, if you think you've got an attachment, I mean, there's a lot of things. This team, Spirit Mechanics, they're the ones that Amy Allen on the Dead Files, they were her backup team. In other words, when there was something she wanted dealt with, that's who, and I've seen the tweets, I've seen the messages. They are the team, people. So if you need help in that realm, spiritmechanics.com, check them out online or visit them in the real world, 1018 East New Circle Road in Lexington, Kentucky. Now we have Bonehead Weekly.
Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis, back with another year, yay, and another crappy horror film to talk about. This time we're going to talk about The Nun 2. It's from James Wan's Atomic Monster Menagerie. And what I'm referring to that is the Conjuring universe. All these movies, the Annabelles, the Lolalas, all those things come from the Conjuring. Just like The Nun. And I guess it made a lot of money because they made a Nun 2 from the 2018 film. And did I like it? No, I didn't. It's on HBO Max. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say HBO anymore. It's on Max. Here's some of these movies are okay. I went to look up the director. It's by Michael Chavez. And he directed The Nun 2, The Curse of the Lola Rona, which I didn't care for, and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which I watched in the theaters with Brandon Griffith and almost fell asleep while he held my hand. I mean, while he sat next to me eating popcorn. Literally didn't care for this movie in any way, shape, or form. It made a ton of money. $268 million at the world box office. There's a couple people back. Sister Irene, Taisa Farmiga, I can never say her name right. She's a great actress. Bonnie Aarons, who plays the demon nun, she's back. Jonas Bloquet, who was in the first Nun. Spoiler alert, he's back. This is the 8th one in the Conjuring film. Somehow or another, we thought we took care of the Nun in the 50s, blah, 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 with Sister Irene the last time. Have a decent opening where a priest is murdered and turns into fire in a church and the nun does it. But here's where the logic breaks down on all these nun movies. So they kill a bunch of people. Basically, it's possessed somebody who lived from the first movie, not giving away anything. And it's attached to their soul. And as they go, they're looking for this Hitchcock called them MacGuffin. It's some eyes of some dead lady so the demon nun can get back into heaven or have the same powers as a fallen angel because they're basically a fallen angel. None of this makes any sense. It's all goobly gop, goobly gop, goobly gop. And it's all a MacGuffin. And Sister Irene has to be sent back to track it down, and she doesn't want to do it. And as she's tracking it down, she finds out that one of the characters is literally possessed by the nun, and then they're trying to kill people as they go. Now, they get to an orphanage, and that's where kind of most of the movie takes place, or some sort of home for kids. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. And none of the kids really get hurt, and neither does the other nuns or priests. One of them does. But why doesn't, when Sister Irene walks into her room, why doesn't the nun make her go up in the flames like this is my one protagonist or antagonist for the nun? Why doesn't that happen? Because she's killed a half a dozen rabbis and whatnot on the way here, priests and priestesses and whatever. I don't know. I'm not Catholic. Why don't they just do that? Why is it that when you all hide in the corner, the ghosts can't see you? Aren't they ghosts or demons or whatever? Can't they see through walls? Can't they pick? None of this makes any sense. It's not a good movie, but a lot of you all like him. $268 million at the box office says that's a lot. That's $250 million this son of a bitch brought in. So should you watch The Nun 2? No. Are you going to watch it? You've probably already seen it. Is it slightly worse than the first Nun? I guess I had to go back and reread the plot. I didn't remember anything about it. I just wish I was getting a cut of this like James Wan is. I really do. I wish I owned Atomic Monster. Anyway, Nun 2 on HBO. Oh, God, on Max. Don't watch it. Avoid it. Are you going to watch it? Of course you are, because the nun is cool looking. Bonnie Aarons as the nun, the demon nun, is cool looking. I'll give her that. It's got a 5.6 on IMDb, 50% of Rotten Tomatoes. I think they're being generous, but you people go watch these movies all the time, and you keep giving them money. This has been Joe Lewis, Bonehead Weekly. So glad you're back. Sorry I can't tell you to go out and watch The Nun too, but I have more respect for you than that.
And welcome back, everybody, to the last few moments of Scarefest Television. Okay, Joe, what else we got? Do we have anything that's not quite as dark and depressing as the alien invasion with our lizard overlords?
Absolutely. So, I'll give the good side of some stories here. Still weird, but so in June of this past year, a story really grabbed my heart. Sometimes that happens. I do have one left in there somewhere, but so this was also very weird. And, if you ever read that good book, you remember a couple of 40-day things, right? So that number came up a few times. So anyway, 4 siblings aged 13, 9, 4, and 1 year old had been traveling to San Jose del Guevara aboard a Cessna 206 light aircraft with their mother and 2 pilots when the plane experienced engine problems and ended up crash landing in Colombia's Amazon rainforest, that same rainforest. All 3 of the adults died, but the children, again, aged 13, 9, 4, and 1, managed to survive. They wandered into the jungle to look for help. Meanwhile, a massive search and rescue operation was being carried out involving dozens of soldiers who scoured the dense rainforest for any clues as to survivors' whereabouts. As the weeks went on, they found evidence, including footprints and objects that the children had dropped, leading them to believe that they could be alive. Eventually, after 40 days alone in the jungle, the children were finally located, and they were perfectly fine. To be in the rainforest for 40 days as a 13-year-old and especially with the 1-year-old with them too, and be completely okay, was every bit a miracle. So very cool story that I thought was uplifting anyway.
It's a great story. It's uplifting. Now, what nationality were the kids? The reason I ask, most of this new generation can't even mow the damn yard.
Oh yeah, they weren't.
I'm trying to imagine them turned loose in the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty confident they were south of the border, West. Okay. They weren't one of the TikTok. My kids would have. They would have died as soon as their batteries ran out.
I would only. Now personally, I would only make it if I had my dog with me. But I'm convinced if I had my dog with me, I would be fine. No, because he would find us food. That son of a bitch could find a Cheeto under a stack of tires burning.
Yeah, I don't know if the finding food is the problem in the Amazon or being the food is the problem in the Amazon. So here's a cool one. This is kind of uplifting. I love these because I see these from doing paranormal news for this long now. We're well over a decade doing it. So
yeah, you'd have to be.
I see some stories that happen over and over and over, right? Cursed paintings, cursed objects are one of those things that the ones that, and real quick, I got 2 weird ones here. So a seemingly innocent portrait of a young girl was purchased from a charity shop in Hastings, East Sussex last summer. The seller assumed that it would be the last they'd ever see of it. To their surprise, however, the painting returned to the shop the very next day. Before too long, it sold again, only to be returned a second time. And, then again, and a short time later, returned with a new owner complaining that she had witnessed shadow figures in her house after bringing it home. So they wanted to take advantage of that. So they put online about it being possibly cursed. And the charity shop owner placed it back in the front window with the message, "She's back." sold and returned. Are you brave enough? So the cursed painting went viral, and it prompted the most recent buyer, James Kingsbury, the managing director of the London Bridge Experience, to buy it for over $2,000. But for him, the curse began to take effect before he even picked up the painting, because his car broke down on the way to the shop to pick it up. After putting the portrait on display, his exhibition began to suffer all manner of problems, ranging from cameras breaking down to flickering lights and TVs randomly shutting off. In one instance, his father-in-law fell ill and his toaster exploded, while in another, workers claimed to have witnessed a mysterious entity in a black shirt within the vicinity of the painting. We've had a couple of floods on the site since between November and December, said Kingsbury. We came in one morning, the basement was flooded. We've had small leaks in the past, but nothing like this. I know a cynic would say it's just a coincidence, but given the volume of things which keep happening, I do find myself questioning whether or not the painting is cursed. So,
first thing, there would be a restocking fee on that mother. 50% restocking fee. I'm not saying it wouldn't take it back. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do that, then you got to know you're not getting your money all back.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, so
totally agree with you. Do I have time for a 2-minute real quick?
Oh yeah, we still got 4 minutes. Yeah.
All right.
And it's the internet, dude.
Well, I'm trying to be polite, man. I'm at your house, so this one creeped me out big time. This was in a Mexican newspaper there. So, fire crew attempt to rescue a vanishing ghost woman from the bottom of the well. In a bizarre and unnerving story out of Mexico, this would be the last week of September of 2023. Police officers and fire rescue crews attended the scene of a woman who was trapped down a well in Saltillo's Nuevo Centro Metropole, whatever. A lot of O's, buddy.
A lot of O's.
Neighborhood, and it was around 3:30 in the morning. Of course, not a soul in sight. The city looked like a ghost town on a moonless summer night. To confirm that she was all right, officers called down the well to ask her what her name was. Juanita. She repeatedly called back from the depths. It took
Juanita died just on this day 1 year ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. It took quite some time, but the rescue team was eventually able to obtain the necessary equipment to lower a firefighter, I guess a rope, down to the bottom of the well to reach her. And to their surprise and dismay, when they got to the bottom, the woman was nowhere to be found.
Now that's a good ghost story.
Yeah.
Nice, good old-fashioned ghost story.
This is from their city newspaper.
No face eaters.
Just Juanita. Juanita not being there. Juanita's all gone, man. It's scary.
Did anybody actually do our little thing where we said, well, let's look at the history of the location and find out if Juanita ever lived within a mile?
I think in some of these areas that they don't have people that have that opportunity, really. It goes from that to somebody places a curse on the village to,
Well, they have internet in fucking Peru. Just saying.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So there's so many things this past year, and a lot of them, though, you see, they'll mimic one another. Like I had another story about kind of like the painting with a frozen doll, like it kept coming back. They felt that it was possessed, and the lady kept trying to throw it away, and it kept showing back up at her house. Actual news story, not one of those creepy pastas, but this was one of those. It's not creepy, not scary. I just thought, man, what are the odds? So July 25th this past year, Peggy Jones, if that is her real name, was doing some lawn work with her husband, and something crazy happened. A snake fell on her arm in the middle of her yard. So she was mowing the grass in Silsbee, Texas. She said, I was just mowing the lawn, minding my own damn business, and out of the clear blue sky, a snake fell right on my arm, she told CBS News. I assumed there was a hawk carrying the damn thing because I was not anywhere near a tree. So anyway, as I was trying to sling my arm and sling the snake off, all of a sudden, a hawk did show up. The hawk appeared to be just as fast as the snake because the snake kept striking at her eyes, and it was actually hitting her glasses, not her face, as lucky as that is. She was screaming, but the hawk grabbed the snake that was wrapped around her arm tightly by this point and kept pulling it. Well, they kept fighting, blood's going everywhere. Eventually the hawk got it detangled. It had to swoop in 4 times, finally released her arm, and took the thing off. I mean, she had to go to the hospital. She had puncture wounds, cuts, abrasions, scratches, severe bruising. But yeah, you just never know, man.
And someday she will repay the favor to that hawk. She will be there. Anyway.
I hope so.
Okay, everybody, that's tonight's episode. I miss Stacey so much. So you're good, John, but you just don't have her pizzazz.
Yeah.
And it's better when you're on this side. You're with me making snide comments about everything.
That's what I'm supposed to do, bud.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I agree. I'm not as good. I'm not as good without her. So,
well, tell her we hope that she gets better. She's already the best. Gets better very, very quickly. Everybody, I'm going to throw this little banner out there for you real quick. This is next week's episode. We have Ashley Connor, Pat O'Keefe, and Misty Connor coming on talking about Appalachian Granny Women Magic. And if you want to play the home game, was it on Prime or Hulu? Or Tubi? I don't know. Anyway, they go on IMDb, look them up. They've got a documentary. It's streaming, and I remember not having to pay for it, so that's why I'm recommending it. Okay. So, John, I want to thank you. I'm going to actually see John in just 1 week. Yeah.
A week.
1 week. So she's got to be all healthy and spry and chipper. And I have to charge my ghost hunting equipment because, believe it or not, everybody, I'm going ghost hunting. Like old school ghost hunting, and
we're gonna be together, man. The town will never be the same.
So, anyways, and now the sad part about this is you've lived here how long now? 2 years? Year and a half?
About a year and a half.
Okay, about a year and a half. First time we've actually got together. God, I suck. Anyway.
No, he stays busy.
It is partially his fault too, but yeah, okay.
I blame John.
Yeah, blame John.
I do. I work every day.
Yeah,
so.
those 80-hour weeks will catch up with you, dude. So everybody, this has been Scarefest TV. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We'll be back next week, and yes, we have more celebrity announcements locked and loaded to bring to you next week.